One quiet sentence, accompanied by a trembling voice and unstoppable tears, made time seem to stop for two figures who have become symbols of emotional closeness in South Korea's entertainment world. Jimin, one of BTS's members known for his gentleness, uttered a sentence that emotionally shook Jungkook. "Forgive me. I have to go." No cameras, no media spotlight, just two friends who for years shared the stage, dreams and exhaustion, and now share the quietest sorrow. The meeting took place under very limited circumstances. Jungkook, who is currently serving in the military, received a limited visitation permit. In that rare moment, Jimin took the time to meet in person, carrying a burden that was not easy to convey through words, especially in a situation colored by each other's internal pressures. The meeting wasn't for joy, but to deliver something painful, and within minutes, everything changed. Why did Jimin's words hit Jungkook so hard? Because it wasn't just a statement about physical separation. It was a confession of wounds that had long been held back. In an internal conversation recording that was not published, but shared by a close source, Jimin said, "I feel like I'm no longer strong enough to stand by your side like I used to. Maybe it's time I go, not because I don't care, but because I care too much." That sentence made Jungkook, who has long been known as a strong figure, unable to hold back tears. "What do you mean by go?" he asked with a hoarse voice. Jimin didn't answer directly, only lowered his head, trying to hold back the increasingly heavy tears. He explained that there was emotional pressure he couldn't fully explain. "I need time to understand myself. I don't want you to get hurt by my silence. And more than that, I don't want my presence to become a burden." This emotional meeting revealed another layer of their relationship, not just as co-workers, but as two individuals who have emotionally depended on each other. Their closeness, often celebrated by fans, is now tested by the reality that even the strongest bonds can crack when personal wounds remain unresolved. What makes it painful is not just the word goodbye, but the fact that the word came from someone who had been a part of Jungkook's identity for more than a decade. A source from the military staff who was present indirectly stated that the moment was very quiet and intense. No one spoke after that. Only silence filled the air. And it was more painful than shouting or fighting. They also mentioned that after the meeting, Jungkook's change in attitude became very noticeable. He appeared quieter than usual, and in his personal letters to fans, his mood seemed gloomy. One of the letters Jungkook sent a few days later hinted at his feelings. "There are days when you just want to stop. Not because you're tired, but because you no longer know how to stay strong." Many fans cried reading the letter because the words were so deep, so human. Meanwhile, Jimin himself did not appear in public for several days after that meeting. When he finally posted one short sentence on social media, the world reacted quickly. Loving doesn't always mean holding on. Sometimes, letting go is the highest form of love. That sentence sparked thousands of interpretations. For those who know how close Jimin and Jungkook are, it wasn't just a quote. It was a confession. This situation sparked various speculations. Will Jimin leave the entertainment world? Is this the beginning of a change in BTS's structure going forward? Is there something happening personally between them that cannot be made public? But amidst all the theories and opinions, one thing remains clear. The emotions that flowed that night were real, and their pain cannot be ignored. Several Korean media outlets referred to this incident as the quietest emotional crisis in BTS history. No press conference, no official clarification, but its impact was felt widely, both among fans and those who know the two personally. One of the other BTS members, in a separate interview, once said, "Sometimes, the person you need the most is the one you have to let go of. And it's painful, but also liberating." Now, fans around the world can only wait. Wait to see whether the meeting will mark the end of one phase of their relationship or the beginning of a more mature and self-aware phase. Many hope that, when time has healed the wounds and silence no longer torments, they will return not just as Jimin and Jungkook from BTS, but as two human beings who have faced their deepest emotional scars together and choose to keep standing, even with a new kind of distance. Whatever happens, one thing is undeniable. Jimin's tears that night were not a sign of weakness. They were the language of emotions that had long gone unspoken. And in a world so loud with expectations and spotlights, sometimes one honest and painful sentence echoes louder than thousands of sweet, fake words. But now, after the emotions have begun to subside, we must ask one important question. Did all of this really happen? Or is this emotionally told event merely a collection of narratives carefully arranged to appear real? In this digital era filled with rapid information and viral content floods, how can we distinguish between reality and media illusion? The information we previously presented comes from various sources. TikTok video clips claim to be secret footage, speculative Twitter posts, edited conversations from fanbase accounts on YouTube, and unofficial statements from alternative media claiming close access to the idols. But let's be honest, how much of all that can truly be verified? Are there official recordings? Written statements? Or is this merely an echo of stories repeatedly amplified because they feel too compelling not to believe? In situations like this, it is crucial for us as readers, viewers, and fans to activate critical thinking mode. Ask yourself, why did this news emerge now? Who was the first to spread it? Is there valid visual evidence or just narratives laced with emotion? Is this part of a hidden promotion, or further, is this part of a scenario intended to reignite public interest ahead of a major project? Many have noted that the dynamics between BTS members are often used as tools to build dramatic stories that tug at fans' emotions. In this context, is the moment of Jimin crying to Jungkook a reality that truly happened? Or merely an unofficial script from content creators cleverly leveraging ARMY's love for their idols? Let's consider, why haven't major South Korean media outlets like Dispatch, Naver, or Sumpi officially released this news? Why do we only find fragments of stories from TikTok accounts with emotional background music, YouTube videos with manipulative subtitles, and Twitter threads with no concrete sources? Why has there been no confirmation from Big Hit Music or related official parties? Even if there are video clips that appear real, we know how sophisticated the editing world has become. Deepfakes, voiceovers, and altered contexts can make something seemingly honest into complete manipulation. Amid this flood of information and digital noise, are we still able to differentiate reality from fabrication? Furthermore, what is the impact on the public if such information turns out to be untrue? Don't we, as part of a global community emotionally connected to public figures, bear a moral responsibility not to spread baseless information? Shouldn't we become filters, not megaphones, of unverified sensationalism? Imagine if this story is merely emotional fiction modified to provoke sympathy and clicks. Isn't that a form of emotional exploitation against the public? Then why do we continue to believe it, even when factual evidence is minimal? But on the other hand, isn't the emotional closeness between Jimin and Jungkook something that has visibly existed for years? Haven't the tears, hugs, and support between them been truly recorded in many public moments? Are we being too cynical if we assume this is all fabricated? We are facing a complex dilemma between trusting the feelings that naturally arise from our idols' interactions and questioning the logic behind the circulated information. That is why we invite you not only to feel, but also to think. The question now returns to you, the reader. Do you believe that this event truly happened? Or do you believe that this is just an emotional narrative cleverly crafted to create resonance and virality? And if this is merely a woven fiction, what is the motivation behind it? Don't let emotion overpower reason. Don't let tears framed by melancholic music drown out the facts. South Korea's entertainment world has long been known as a stage that plays life dramas with incredible finesse, with a thin line between reality and performance. So let's realize that not everything that touches the heart is real, and not everything that is unseen means it never happened.